Hear ye, and welcome to the Royal Geek Podcast. I am your host tonight, Justin Sandoval, a.k.a. Sandy, and tonight I am joined by Trevor McGee and JD because we got Anime Edition on in-house right now, and I'm so excited to be here with you guys to talk some anime. How you guys doing?
Doing all right. How are you guys?
No complaints, man. We're chilling.
Yeah, all right. So we got a fun one tonight. We're going to go ahead and we're going to break down a list of top 15 anime arcs. But before we get there, let's go ahead and get the business out of the way. Go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel, Royal Geek Podcast, and follow, like, and all that stuff for our socials at Royal Geek Pod. We really appreciate it, and we thank you so much for listening every week. We really do appreciate it. So, all that being said, let's say before we get into the main topic, we as a collective bunch have been doing a Naruto rewatch slash watch through slash try to convert me into a stan instead of a hater. So we are in Shippuden right now, and we are gonna just kind of give you an update on where we're at. So, Trevor, you want to go ahead and tell us that we're crazy?
No. Well, JD and I are on the same page as usual. It's I've really enjoyed it. It's great. I think that they, it deserved. It probably after watching it, I think it deserved to go further than it did in our tournament back in March. I forget when it went out, but it was probably a round or two early. Yeah. Should have went, and that was because somebody may have slandered it. Unfairly.
Excuse me?
But yeah, no, it absolutely, it's for me, it's earned all of the praise and hype that it's gotten over the years. I love all the characters. I think that really they did a really good job of building out the world and the politics of the world and why things are the way they are and how it all functions and interlocks really well. I think the background characters are solid. Some of the best background characters in probably anime. And there's also Kakashi, who's awesome. Great. I can
second that. I can second that.
Yeah. What about you, JD?
I talked about Shikamaru before, but he's one of those characters that really grow on you. Some of the characters, though, that I thought were going to, make their limelight appearances kind of started to fall off, like Kiba and Akamaru. They're not very viable anymore. They're kind of just there. I think it's doing really well though on the storytelling. Naruto is growing on me. I do miss hearing Believe It, but other than that,
Yeah.
I think it's getting there.
I don't miss Believe It. I promise you that.
Really, that's crazy.
They also do a good job, I think. So Shikamaru is great. The arc that we just finished when I messaged you guys and said the show should be retitled Shikamaru instead of Naruto. I stand by that. It's really, going back to the background characters, it's impressive how well
they carry.
He was written to carry, and they do that where these other characters carry for stretches, whole arcs, and Naruto's kind of a background piece. And within that, they do a good job of every time he's in the background, he's earning whatever next power he gets. It's not really... He works to get his powers. Of course, he has plot armor because he's the MC. But he does work to get his power, though. He does. You can't. The shadow clone training is a little cheap compared to other characters.
I found that interesting. I found that.
But I like the fact that they gave that because for the first 100 episodes of the show or whatever, I was like, this man just has shadow clones and they get whopped.
They make his training unique to him.
Yeah. It's good. It was good. It was really well done. That and Shikamaru were my highlights of Shippuden so far. And Asuma, obviously.
Yeah. So for me, I mean, I was definitely a hater for sure, but I think I've come up a little bit. I'm not necessarily. It's not nowhere near my top 20. That's for sure. But these guys are like shaking their head. But I am a little bit more. I'm a little bit more down with Naruto. Like I said, I don't necessarily like it, like top 20, but. There are some characters in there that I really, really enjoy. Like you talked about Kakashi. Obviously, Kakashi has not only does he look the best, possibly the best aesthetically looking anime character. Like he looks awesome. There's something about covering a part of the face that just makes you look badass.
Especially for the reason that he does it.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
It's not just an aesthetic.
And like for example, like a lot of people new age are liking like Gojo, and it's because he covers his eyes. Like that's like something that's appealing to people for some reason. Anyway, but Shikamaru has grown on me. I was not a fan of him in actual Naruto, the first part series, but this last arc with Shikamaru and Asuma's, it's not a spoiler because it's been years, but Asuma's death, that was wild. And I did enjoy that. And the Akatsuki, they are some of the characters are hit or miss. I will tell you that.
That's facts.
There's like, for example, Datara, like with his stupid clay eating. Like,
He did. I will say, like, and this is past the Asuma thing that we kind of agreed on, but I am there. His kind of his end that he met might be the first. I need to think about that. He might be the first villain that actually had weight behind him for the whole show. That now I will say that's a weakness of theirs. I don't think the villains have been strong to date, Naruto or Shippuden. I'm trying to think if I'm missing anybody. Like they're just kind of bad guys for bad guys.
What do you mean by not having weight behind them?
Like purpose. Like there's not like a so like
they're bad to be bad.
They're just bad guys. Like Orochimaru does bad things. And he's a bad guy, but he's just kind of like I'm bad and I want to live forever. And I'm like okay, that's cool. Datara was like he has this really intense drive to be seen and noticed, and I don't like him, but he wants his art to be seen. And the last thing he says is, you know, you're gonna die, but what I do is gonna be seen. And
art is an explosion.
Yeah, and so like he's a little corny, a little stupid, but that at least there's something behind that's driving him, rather than just like kind of the trope of I want to be the strongest, I want to live forever.
He had a whole reason to stay in the Akatsuki.
Yeah, like I mean, you think about some of the best villains around, and they usually have like a really nice
purpose.
Like there's something,
a drive. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of some others that are escaping me right now, but yeah, like you know, it's good. I mean, even like I think of just to pull something that we don't normally talk about, like a Code Geass, where like the villain was Lucius' dad, and like he has this entire machination behind it. And so once it's like revealed, you're like, holy crap, he's doing all this stuff for all these reasons. So far, like Orochimaru's like, I want to learn all of the jutsus. I'm like, all right.
Orochimaru's just there to be there.
No,
well, the funny thing about Orochimaru is like even when they do flashbacks and he's with Sonata and Jiraiya, like he's still evil. Like he's
a whole bad guy.
The way he interacts with them, even though is a part of like the good, like exactly.
Calm down
the entire time.
Yeah,
and like nobody's picking up on this. Nobody's like
a whole bad guy.
I feel like Jiraiya's too busy trying to get Sonata like back in the day. So
I think it's because they grew up as kids together, so they don't really.
Oh, that's just Orochimaru being Orochimaru.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
Kind of thing.
I mean, that's kind of what happened with Sasuke if you think about
it.
Like,
but and that's one of those things I always argue about. Like they grew up with them. That's why they're sticking by their side so much. Like Sonata, honestly, in the regular Naruto, Sonata didn't want to fight freaking Orochimaru.
Yeah, so they didn't want to. They didn't want to straight up. And I think, you know, like watching it on TV, you're like, of course Sasuke is running off to go. You should have stopped this like 6 months ago. Like, why are we here now? Like, somebody should have stepped up. But I guess the idea is that they've been around them, and so Sasuke is just an a-hole always.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I agree.
And I don't know. So I don't remember, or I haven't seen, or I dropped off back in the day on how the Sasuke arc ends, like that kind of thing, right? But as far as him from Naruto going into barely being there in Shippuden, but he's still an over looming character. I don't know how I feel about that yet. I want to see the conclusion of that in order to get some sort of closure. Because right now, I'm kind of like, you build up this character in the Naruto series, and he becomes a fan favorite. I mean, he was
his episodes where he's appeared so far. I like him significantly more in what I've seen of him now. I think unintended, maybe it was intended, but like, man, Naruto. I get that they were. The best friend thing, I'm still struggling with that because I'm like, for every episode y'all were together, he outwardly hated you, and then he just needed somebody to kill to get the eyes, the I forget the name of it, but the special eyes that Itachi has. Yeah, and he's like, the only person I've been around that much is you, so apparently you're my best friend. I'm like, are y'all best friends? But Naruto.
He does a really long monologue talking about how he is his best friend.
Yeah, but it just doesn't feel.
It didn't feel genuine.
Yeah, and then now
very forced.
you have Naruto just
going out of his way to do everything to get his best friend.
Like
back.
if I was
my best friend.
if I was Kiba, like when they go out to search for him, when after he kills Orochimaru and they get the little party together, and he's like, I'd be like, hey dude, hey listen man, it's weird, bro, like it's weird, like it's too much, like whatever your relationship with him will be like, it's clingy, man. I need
and
to relax.
that idea of friendship is what kind of brings Sai to the good side as far as their party.
Kind of crazy.
Sai's a good character. I'm so pro Sai at this point.
Okay, thank you. You said first you didn't
I
like
didn't
him.
like him.
I was on board with him. JD still hates him.
He's not as bad.
I like how corny it is that he's trying to learn how to be a friend.
I think that's cool.
I
think
love that.
The effort that he's putting in is like, okay, you gotta like that.
And he like pulls the book out and like fact checks things real quick before he interacts.
Speaking of characters I hate, you know who I feel like is the most useless one? Kabuto. I don't know why, but Kabuto is literally the worst. Like, oh my god,
so
get rid of him.
I was talking with my family, who I watched this show with, guys.
While you're in the dungeon,
yeah. And like, there's something really I cannot stand him, but also I guess that makes him a pretty solid villain. Like that he's just constantly there, and he always sucks. And he's always aggravating.
I agree.
And he also is strong. Like
yes,
which
he is for no reason at all. Like they didn't give any
for no. I mean, using my brain, I can extrapolate that obviously Orochimaru taught him, and whatever. But it just doesn't. He was in the Chunin exam arc, which we'll talk about in a second. Well, he's just like pulling out cards, like I know who people are, haha. And he's like, we got to get out of here. I can't fight these guys. And then like 40 episodes later, he's throwing down with like Ninetales Naruto like it ain't nothing but a thing.
But crazy enough, even in like the Chunin exams, like they're over here struggling to get like the scrolls, and he's just like, yeah, I'm done.
Yeah, he's like, I'm just vibing, and
he's like, I'm out. I don't do it no more. He's past everything already.
No, it's wild. I cannot stand him, but I guess that makes him like a solid. I like they did hint at his backstory when he pops back up after Orochimaru's dead, and is like, here's this information, Naruto, and now I know what it's like to be, I understand what you're going through. So now I'm gonna go. I've absorbed Orochimaru, and I'm gonna become super strong like him because I'm angry and sad. I'm like, could you expound on that?
He still has no purpose, though.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, tell me why. He's like, I was an orphan taken from my home. Like, give me more.
Definitely meaningless. Definitely.
Yeah. No. So he kind of sucks, but he honestly. He is the Team Rocket of Naruto, except worse, because Team Rocket eventually becomes like so corny and terrible that you like them.
Yeah,
he literally shows up, and I'm like, dang, dude, it's about to be 2 episodes. This man just holding the plot
just
up,
whining,
holding the plot. Like the plot can move forward, but we have to deal with Kabuto like going. Well, I've been thinking about pushing his glasses up on his nose. I'm like, all right, man, that's fine. I don't have time for this. But I will to go back to Sasuke. He killed Orochimaru way too easy, but he does allude to that later when he's talking. They're like, he gets beat up by Deidara, and they're like,
yep.
And you're the guy that killed Orochimaru, like, and he's like, basically, he was not at his full strength. That's all I'm gonna say about that. And then he kind of rolls on. He's definitely, I enjoy him more now. I'm curious to see where he goes from here, but I do enjoy him more at this point.
And then I think my last thing I want to talk about is I'm very curious on why they made the creative decision to only bust out this beautiful animation for these amazing fights. Like I feel like
certain fights,
I feel like you underutilize something that is just like it's almost like Ghibli. It's almost Ghibli style. Like it's very beautiful. And like for example, the Sasuke Naruto scene at the end of Naruto is in the animation style. But then it pops up, I think 3 more times.
Maybe more than that. Every time there's a major fight,
it switches over.
The colors get a little pale, and it loses like the 3D pop, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, it's gonna be smooth.
It's more fluid. It's smooth. And I'm drawn in. Like I'm watching every action because just for some reason when they do like kicks and flips in this animation style, it just looks absolutely crisp and beautiful.
They're animating every individual lick, which so I just finished up the like look back at Kakashi and the look back at Jiraiya when they were younger,
Oh,
and
okay.
the fights were so well. I think Kakashi's they ramped up when he fought little dude after Obito got crushed.
Yes.
They ramped it
Yeah,
up.
they
Okay,
did. They
yeah.
did amp it
But
up.
but
You're
when
right.
Jiraiya, none of his got that treatment, and so like he's fighting this dude, and it's just like ping, ping, ping. I'm like, okay. And this is when he
Yeah.
was older. Now he's fighting whatever his name is. It's gotten back to smooth, but yeah, it's. I mean, obviously saving money. I
Mm.
think you're going from. I don't know much about specifically that generation of art, but I'm assuming that there's a decent amount of like digital work being
Mm.
done versus them probably like doing a lot more hand drawing
Yeah.
with the fights. Make
See,
'em
for me,
smooth.
if they stay in that animation for like the entirety of the thing, like that might just change. That changed my mindset and view of the show. To be honest with you, just
Honestly,
because.
I don't think they should though. I feel like
I do like I like when you're looking at a still of them talking. I think the animation and that's probably what happened. I think it pops a little bit more because the colors are more vibrant. There's more depth. When the fights are happening, there's less depth, but there's more fluidity of movement, and so that's probably why it just like we've joked about. Like it's just very obvious. Like when it goes like that kind of almost like cell shading, you're like, oh, it's
it's about to
It's
get
on.
real.
Yeah, it's about to go.
It's
Get
a
it.
major fight happening.
Yeah.
I wonder if people realized that back in like 2006.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Yeah. No.
Would it? So one thing, and this is on topic but off topic about fight animation. The Dragon Ball Super superhero movie. I watched it several months back. I really liked the way they did the animation for that, and I wonder if that would have worked for Naruto.
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. I think even like the animation style they have with like these fight scenes, the major ones, they get derpy in some points. Like, you know how they have like certain points where I used the Naruto and Sasuke fight, for example. He hit Sasuke in the stomach or something. Like the face Sasuke made during it was so
Oh yeah.
derpy.
Yeah, and you do lose that when you have I don't know if you'd call that, I mean, I guess it's kind of a CGI what they did in Super, but you probably lose the ability to get that cartoony of a face
Mhm.
without, it would look real bad
Yeah.
with that art style. Yeah, and I think about like Trigun Stampede that I've been watching, and that art style as well it's almost across the Spider-Verse-ish. And
Yeah.
it's super cool. So I'm curious to see how many more that movie is popping off right now. How many
Absolutely.
more anime end up using that similar? Because Chainsaw Man's kind of that way at times.
Yeah.
There was one that I can't remember the name of that was coming out of China that was exactly in that
Really.
animation. Yeah, and I'm curious to see how much more you get that because it's very unique and extremely versatile. Just thinking about fight animations, but yeah, they drop when they drop it into the straight up 2-dimensional, man, it's on.
Oh,
like
yeah,
those
yeah.
dudes are moving and grooving.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it so far, and I think you just started it with Jiraiya, right? Like Jiraiya and Pain. Yeah. So.
Is there a so up to that point? What's y'all's favorite fight so far? It could be anything. I'm trying to think.
Honestly, it's Kakashi
Like I
versus.
said, it can't be Naruto and Sasuke. That's
No.
That's the number one answer. Obviously,
Mine's Kakashi and was it Kazuko or Kazuka? What's his name?
Kakuzu?
Yeah, Kakuzu. Yes,
Ah,
that was a good fight.
that was a good fight. I think. Do you have one before I?
I'm kind of juggle between two. Osman Hidan actually was not bad.
No, it was a good fight.
Him and Shikamaru's teamwork during that entire fight was literally like magic. It was crazy.
It was really, which made the death.
Which I think they got the animation treatment.
They did.
I believe
They got it. It went 2-dimensional.
Yep.
Yeah, I would say that one for me might be, or really, I personally, even in original Naruto, I liked all of Shikamaru's fights because they had a different. Like Naruto, my only like complaint to point of now has just been every fight is I'm gonna punch you so hard and so many times, and you're gonna punch me, and I'm gonna punch you harder, and then I'm gonna get back up after you knock me out and knock you out. And like Shikamaru is an element of like
strategy. There's full strategy going on.
He's really like thinking through how do I get you in a spot where I can like remove you from the field, which is super
cool
fun.
watching him break down Hidan's powers.
When he
versus
licks the blade in the very last fight. Oh my gosh! In the
Yep.
trees.
Yep.
That was I was like, dude, that's a good way to end an arc, man. Golly. When they're holding him over the pit and he sets him on fire.
And
Just
it
cold
blows
blooded.
up,
Yeah, cold blooded, which is what you want to see, man. That's what I want. Like again, if they had a Shikamaru like spinoff, I'd have been front of the theater for
You
it.
know, I like all of Sasuke's fights too. What was his last fight that he had?
Against Data, right?
Deidara. I think that was probably one of the best. The way that he uses his genjutsu now it's pretty clutch.
I'm still not even 100% sure how it works, to be honest. If you can explain it, I'll take it right now. Go for it.
Basically, the Sharingan. Once you look into it, you're caught.
Well, for sure.
And they can manipulate whatever they want to. So, like with Sasuke, he used it. He was staring at Deidara, and Deidara thought he had him, and it
The
wasn't
eyes
even,
popped up behind him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and things like that happened. Just like when they were explaining about Deidara and Itachi about how he messed up and looked into Itachi's eyes, and he thought that he had Itachi in the centipede, but really was himself.
That was wild. And he
So-
about blew himself up, too.
Yeah,
Which
like
would
He
have
was
been
about
short,
to
yeah.
if it wasn't for Kasame, I think,
Yeah.
telling him, "Hey, you're an idiot."
Yeah. Which by the way, like I know you have some Itachi complaints that we'll lodge in a later date, but
Yes, you
the breaking up into ravens and flying away is such a good visual. When he just
It
breaks
is
up into
pretty
like
good.
instead of bats, like it's just such a cool like
yeah.
that's how I'd want to go if I were like to use an animal transport like that. Just turn into a freaking flock of ravens and fly off. And you're like, well, and they all have the eyes. It's really good. I was thinking about it. Like Naruto is not about Naruto. It's about the Sharingan. That's what the entire. That's what all of it's
Yeah.
about. Is just the freaking
Oh
eyes.
yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, Obito
Yeah.
and Kakashi was pretty sick too.
Dude, that was. I do like. I'm curious about that because why not just have like a series of Uchiha surgeries and give everybody one eye like Kakashi? I'm curious
the
like
entire
and
Hikari
also
village.
too to about yeah, but also talking about like plot armor. I did not appreciate that Kakashi gets the eye transplant, comes out of the rubble immediately able to
Knows
just
what to
rock
do.
the
Yeah,
eye
exactly.
and just shutting Buddy down with it. I'm like, oh girl is a crazy medical ninja if she's able to pull a full eye transplant in
And
30
he's able
seconds
to use it.
immediately. Like she's on Tsunade's level for sure, and she's not. So I was kind of like, okay, we hooked our boy up with some legit plot armor. I do like how well they artistically de-age the characters back and forth, like the older characters like Akashi and Jiraiya and Tsunade.
Yeah.
It's very believable when they're younger. Like he did a really good job of like drawing that out in a way that is not just them but small. Like
They actually look
like Jiraiya's
younger.
lines have different lengths and his hair is different lengths and he doesn't have the nose bump. Then he has the nose bump when he hits a certain age. Like certain aspects of that are really interesting artistically. So that's a
Even with Kakashi, like his whole aesthetic, his fit, down to it. Like he still had the face mask, but it was just covering like his mouth and his nose.
Yeah.
The short sword he was using. I think they did a good job.
No, they did for sure. And also they've sidelined her. I know that you both slander Sakura, but I'm this is a pro Sakura account.
She's gotten
over here.
tougher. She's gotten tougher.
She just throws hands. I mean, she's not like when you look at and I don't love the way they did this, but every 3-person group has one girl who also has a crush on one of the guys who doesn't like her and the other guy likes her.
Except Tintin.
Yeah, maybe we don't know. We'll find out next time. But yeah, like I don't love that, but out of all of the girls in the party, Sakura is probably the most formidable.
No,
Who is?
Hinata.
Yeah.
Well, she hasn't
Yeah.
not yet, but yeah. I mean,
Well,
fair.
no, dude, the tuning
Byakugan?
exam, bro. She was keeping up with Neji for a second.
She was getting
work.
She was getting-
she was going at it at some point.
she was getting work, and also that was before like. I mean, at this juncture in Shippuden, I think Sakura probably puts her in the ground.
Okay, I agree.
That's what I'm talking about. That's all
But
I'm
I
saying.
still don't like Sakura.
No, that's fair.
She's so useless.
That's fair.
Anyways.
I mean, I like Hinata has the Byakugan eye or
Yeah.
whatever, right?
But also when they were doing the hunting thing, when they were hunting for Sasuke, I can't remember exactly what it was, but she straight up did not see somebody. I want to say it might have been Itachi because she wasn't very far away, and that eye is supposed to be able to see like 100 and something meters or something, and Itachi was right there with Naruto, and she's like, "Huh, what happened? What was going on?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "What were you
Yeah.
looking at, girl? Like, did you turn the eye off? We're hunting for somebody. Why'd you turn the eye off?" So like that was silly, but
Are you guys watching fillers? No.
no.
No, not
Good.
at all.
Did y'all watch? Y'all didn't know her and Healing the Fish?
Mm-mm.
No.
I don't know what you're talking about right now. I've skipped all of it.
That was literally like.
I
the bonus.
accidentally started the Temple of Fire, which actually I read was one of the better filler arcs of the whole thing. But I was like, oh, no, skipped it.
It wasn't bad.
My kids were like, what are you doing? I was sitting there skipping episodes. I'm like, I ain't got time for this. Like, I legitimately don't have time for this.
have to
Yeah,
catch up.
I got a job to do. Yeah,
I don't have time for this.
Nice.
You've taken a passion of mine and turned it into work.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Well,
Yo, that's great.
with all that being said, that was our Naruto watch. That's where we're at right now. JD and I are a little bit further than him.
Mhm.
We're about 10 episodes, 12 episodes ahead of Trevor. But yeah, anyway, thanks for listening to the Naruto watch. Now we're going to get into our main topic. We got a list here, which Trevor has conveniently pulled up, about the top 15 anime arcs, according to some website.
Nerdbear.com.
Yeah.
Never used it in my life, but
Yeah.
it seemed to have a decently.
Yeah.
They are
together list.
not a sponsor, by the way.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So what we're basically going to do is Trevor's going to list these supposed top 15 arcs, and we're going to discuss and see if it's appropriately ranked, and we'll see how it goes.
Number 15, we probably shouldn't spend too much time on this because of what just happened. The tuning exams.
Ah, yes.
Naruto.
I mean, it was... I'm trying to think what I should... Okay, so Naruto didn't actually get to graduate the Chunin exams.
Which they still, I mean, they make a joke about it. I'm like, man, somebody needs to just give this man a graduation.
Right, exactly.
Like, just throw it and say he's
But
good.
I did enjoy it, though. It was the fights between Shikamaru and
Shikamaru and
old
Tamari.
girl.
And
Yep.
Tamari.
Mhm.
That was good.
That was a good fight. The one thing I liked the best about that fight is when he throws his kunai in the air with the
Oh.
parachute,
Yeah.
and to make a shadow. That was so cool.
Also, like, just more Shikamaru shout out. He has my favorite jutsu.
Shadow
Like-
possession.
Yeah, because like if you're like they don't ever really do ninja stuff in this show, which is ironic. Like they're just running up on people like straight up like, "Hey, what's up? I'm here. Let's fight."
Yeah, no hiding and
Yeah, but if they were
creeping
actually
and
doing real ninja stuff, like he would be
OP.
yeah,
Mhm.
because like you're sneaking around in the dark and there's shadows everywhere and you're just choking folks out while
Yep.
they're asleep. Like you can't really beat that. Also, Rock Lee versus Gara, which is that's got to be top 10 fight, just period. Like it is so good.
I don't know. The Sasuke and Gaara fight was pretty up there for me too, especially
It was too
where
short.
I got that's where my favorite line came from. Him freaking. Oh no, it wasn't. It was him versus Lee.
Mhm.
You're right.
When he's like, "I'm bleeding."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The Rock Lee fight was because he just keeps amping it up, and you get to see like again they do another good job of a background character of just like painting him out and giving him motivation, and like he's so driven to be great that he pulls out every single stop, and you also get to see the recklessness of Guy who
Oh,
doesn't
yeah.
shut it down,
Yep.
and
Like, keep going, Lee.
yeah, and he opens the third level or whatever and about dies. But like, I mean, he would have beaten Gara without like just some of the plot armor they gave Gara in that moment, which speaks to his abilities. But yeah, it was good. It was a good arc. I don't know, not my favorite of the Naruto arcs. I don't think
Mm-mm.
it was a little long.
But you got to remember though, the Chunin exam arc did implement a lot of like abilities that people were using later on. Like Sasuke got his second Tomo in that fight. He ended up getting curse mark during that exam.
That's right. Good point.
So
But
there
that
were,
part,
like,
that was
some-
where I felt it was dragging. I almost fell asleep a couple times when they were out in the forest. I'm like, golly,
The forest
guys.
dragged way too long.
With
way too long.
Sakura spent like 3 episodes crying.
just protecting them. Yeah, that was.
And then
dumb.
Orochimaru like just was like
They kind of hyped up the Sound Village like they were like.
And they were terrible.
Yeah, exactly.
just
Exactly.
and only because So all right, that was it. Orochimaru.
15, yeah.
Yeah. Number 14, near and dear to our boy Sandy's heart. The Dark Tournament arc, Yu Yu
Ooh,
Hakusho.
yes.
This should be higher.
Yeah, that should be way
should be
higher.
higher.
Way higher.
Dude, the Dark Tournament had like some of the most defining moments for me. Like it was ridiculous. Even down to the last fight with him and Tagoro
Ooh.
and like Tagoro finally admitting that he's about to lose, and him and Genkai, him imagining Genkai in the spirit world just going through the gate. Like, it was crazy. I feel like this one should have been way higher.
Yeah. And I feel like the development of Yusuke from the start of the Dark Tournament to the end of the Dark Tournament, like it's almost night and day. Like he's found more of himself as he's fought these people because he's leaned on the strength of others watching him. Like it was good. It was dang, that should be higher. That's
Also, I
higher
mean,
than 14.
no, probably, and it has it's one of the forefathers of the tournament arc, which is
Yeah,
now
tournament
like
style,
a
yep.
staple of almost every successful shonen. You got to have a tournament arc.
Agreed.
Agreed, yeah.
Side note, what was your favorite fights, if y'all have a favorite fight out of the Dark Tournament?
Hiei's fight, his last one he had, so sick.
Okay.
Gotcha. All right, 13. Promised Neverland, the jailbreak arc. Bro, I don't know nothing about
I'm
this.
about to
so
say,
y'all
I'm
take
not
it.
very familiar with this one, only because this.
You guys you guys never watched season one?
I did. I watched The Promised Neverland season 1, but I don't know their arcs like that.
Well, the orphanage is a spoiler alert.
I'm
It's
pretty
a
sure it's
human
only-
farm for demons.
Right.
And the kids are shipped out or actually butchered. So that's not a very good Neverland.
It's the last like 4 episodes because it's only 12 episodes. I'm pretty sure.
Is this as they were trying to escape? This is like
Yeah.
the.
This was
one
like
of the
where they had
one of the
to try
main
to get to the
characters.
wall.
One of the main characters tries to
okay.
kill himself, and he's a child. So
Yep.
that's intense.
Yep.
Like,
So you've never seen this at all?
no, I'm reading.
Okay,
From the
if
thing.
you watch the first episode, it's like one of the most like punch you in the face first episodes you've ever watched in anime. Like it's like if you didn't read the arc where it's like a human farm, whatever, like the first episode would like completely destroys you.
It'll
It's
take you
crazy.
there.
It is wild.
All right. There is is it which there's another one that has a first episode similar where the rich people are like capturing the poor people. Is that Sword Art Online? No.
No.
What is it? And they got I could find it. Anyways, number 12. It's a super well known anime. I just am not explaining it well. The Enter High arc Haikyuu.
The Enter High arc.
So it's the last arc of the first season. It's Karasuno climbing up the Inner High tournament, and then they get the rematch with Aoba Josai,
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then they
I think
lost to Okawa.
so. This last arc fight, like or match or whatever you want to call it, for me it took the visuals up a notch. Like you got to see like the focus in on the expressions and like the quote unquote attacks, like the volleys and strikes and stuff. Like I don't know, the visuals amped up in that arc compared to the rest of the season.
It goes back to like how we were talking about that kind of 2D, like not cartoonish. They don't have that cartoonish animation style, but like even with Hinata like going up and hitting spiking the ball, they like shift animation styles to they'll put like him in color in the background in black and white.
Yes,
and like,
yes.
It's really good.
But I don't know if I don't know if it should be in the top 15 though.
I don't. I feel like there are other arcs that are way better. I could put another Yu Yu Hakusho arc in here and it'd be perfectly fine.
Yeah.
All right, number 11, Chimera Ant arc.
This
11? Are you
this should
kidding
have
me?
been top 10, bro.
11?
Yo,
I will say so if you're gonna
the heck,
if you're
dude?
gonna pick ants with the Chimera Ant arc, it is an extremely long arc.
It is long. Yes.
Personally don't mind it, but you have to say, okay, I want to invest in this world and learn what's going on outside of just the purview of the characters and what they're doing. And so it was a slog, but it was so intense. Maybe 10 episodes earlier they could have ended it. It would have been probably higher on the list. I don't know. They don't give a reason for why it's not higher. Obviously, you get one of my favorite anime moments, which is Godspeed Killua.
Oh man.
Coming down the hill to fight Red Dude. So good. And freaking Homeboy's like running away because he knows he's about to get that work, and then Killua comes up and says, "No, I got it. We're straight."
Bro,
like, oh my god.
My only thing is like this should have been way higher only because they literally throughout the whole Hunter x Hunter time, it was all like happy and rainbows. Even with the fights, it was
Mhm.
still like kind of happy rainbows. Oh, Gon broke his arm. Exactly. He got his arm blown off by the bomber, but it was still like positive
But
at the
we're
end
gonna get the
because
card. It's fine.
it was right. It was a game. But then you get here and you see the ants take
Bruh,
a
like,
side character that was in the first season and just like destroy them, blowing heads off. You're like, oh my god,
man, you knew the Chimera ant art was built different when the two kids by the river.
that's what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, look at the kids, and then like, oh, no, and then they're gone.
They're gone, but then they get
Well, and they never really like, they never. What's crazy is he just never fixed that.
No,
Oh,
not
yeah,
at all.
yeah.
You think that they're gonna become ants and live happily? No,
nope.
He's
Not at
he's
all.
an ant, but he's kind of remembering himself. But like, no, and I don't. Did she ever come back out?
The daughter, yeah.
Yeah.
She came back at the end and joined her mother, and they
Yeah, because
reunited.
she was
yeah.
the daughter ant or
Mhm.
whatever. Yeah, I was like, bro, this is
Yeah,
out of control. And
Even
then
Pito
yeah,
and freaking
Pito and Gon was.
No, I was about to say Kite, man.
no, so
Oh,
that's when. Like, So you
yeah.
have the kids get killed, but then they're out there with Kite, and you're like, okay, like Kite's they're gonna throw hands. You're gonna see how serious it is, and they're gonna retreat. Gon and
Nope.
Kilo are gonna train up. Mm-mm.
the
Kite's gone.
look on Kite's face when he turns around and says "run" with missing an arm
Bro.
was
Yeah,
insane.
you know, it's built different.
Yeah.
I do like so a couple of things I did. So although it was cool, I didn't love the Gon pedo situation. Like the narrative of that, I didn't love that.
Like to get there, or
Just
the
like
finale,
the moment,
finale?
the moment when it's all like I loved everything leading up to it.
Mhm.
It was like okay, so he basically did a deal with himself and accessed all of his power and whatever. But I was kind of like, I mean,
He wager half his life? Is that what he did?
more than that.
No.
They never
that's-
said what he did, but
it-
you assume
it
that he made
does.
it.
So basically, what happened is he exhausted all of his nin.
Yeah,
So he took all the nin that he had
and whatever have.
yeah, and he exhausted it right there. So he's ninless.
Yeah, well, he's not now, but he was. Thanks to our girl Aluka, he's been, which
Yeah,
she's
that's
she's
true.
cool.
That's
But
true.
yeah, like
I got some issues with her, but
I didn't. No, I know. I saw it in our chat earlier. I was looking back at other stuff. I was like, dang man, he hates everything good. But yeah, like I didn't love the way that Gon. I didn't love that. I thought like it would have been cool if Gon would have gotten. But I mean, I guess it really to me it diminished Gon as the MC.
Really?
Yeah, because like
he went against his standards that he'd established up until that point.
and not just that, but he also like, I mean, it's kind of a. He ain't that tough.
But
Like
he had to go beyond ever.
If Killua would have rolled up, let's just say all things considered, Killua's full on Nin, and he goes Godspeed, he probably could take her.
Honestly,
Like it'd be a fight, and if he had Gon's help, he probably for sure could. And so Gon's like, I have to give up my entire life. I'm like, you just ain't it, bro.
What I don't understand though is why he was fighting so hard for Kite, and he didn't know Kite.
exactly.
I think that was my only
Exactly.
gripe.
That was also
Yeah.
He just met him.
It was-
He's like
we're
crying
proving why
for
this is
him.
11th right now. By the way,
Yeah.
And
Well,
then-
no. But here's my point: why it should be higher. Dude, Meruem is.
Oh,
well, hold
his-
on, I'm gonna
his-
take that apart right now.
No, you cannot.
I
No
will
way.
watch me.
Please do.
So
This guy.
you build up this villain who
Dude.
I like Meruem a lot. I actually like the way that he died. I like what happened with Tamagi a lot. I've actually seen a Meruem and Tamagi like Funko that's together. It's all like one piece of them playing shogi or whatever.
Really? That's
And
pretty
I
cool.
almost bought it like 7 times. I'm like, I don't need any more of this. But it took you send out Netero, and Netero basically, for all intents and purposes, gets clapped. It has to set off a nuke inside of his body, and then that doesn't kill him. And then he basically dies from radiation poisoning. I'm again like. It's kind of similar to what I felt about Gon, just like it's a kind of an easy way out. It's like easy like I felt like the author, and I don't know, but I think he got there and was like, dang.
But they got to show that he can be killed though. Like
But you don't you build him up to not be able to die, and then you kill him with radiation poisoning. Like let somebody figure it out. Let Gene come do it, or I don't know, but like
the useless father.
yeah, I mean he's strong
Yeah.
though. Like everybody's freaking scared of him. Like prove his power or do something, or like I told you guys, like have Meruem have a change of heart post nuclear explosion and go to the dark realm or whatever with all the ants. There's ways you can resolve that, I think, without just saying, oh, he got poisoned, nobody could beat him, and now he's gone, because we can't have a dude around that could fight with DBZ characters. And then
Facts.
the same thing with Gon, where it's like Gon hasn't really trained that hard, doesn't have any common sense or smarts like Killua has to figure out how to use his power, and he's going to access all the nin he'll ever have, and then that's how he's going to win. It's like
They need a time skip, honestly.
They really need a time skip.
Yeah, which maybe we'll get one.
I hope so.
Well,
with the Dark
Buddy's
Continent.
he stopped writing again, so he's not.
Yeah.
All right, number 10. I'm not there yet, but Payne's Assault arc, which is that better than the tuning exam? Probably.
Yeah, I feel like this is
probably.
And then I'm just reading about it. I mean, it was.
We're not quite there. We're not quite there yet, so I feel like we don't have a whole lot to say.
Yeah,
You're at the start. I mean, kind of at the start of it.
Yeah, we're not full assault. Like
yeah.
I will say, just to give, again, like villains with goals that make sense. He suffered, and I'm very curious. And please don't spoil anything for me. But like I'm curious about how he, like. What was because I know they'll explain it at some point. Like what was the suffering? Like you had a dude take you in, and like train you up.
3 episodes away from
that. Yeah, but like I do think that again, giving a villain like motivation, like his idea to give everyone basically WMDs to blow up each other.
Yeah.
First off, it makes
right.
a lot of sense. I'm like he was talking. I love like my favorite thing, Killmonger, the villain in Trigun Stampede, which is why I like that show right now. Any villain that says something and you as, we obviously are tending to side with the protagonist in all things. We're like, I mean, yeah, okay. Like the people, if there's one thing I've learned about the world of Naruto, it's that these jokers suck. Like most of these dudes are not good people.
Yeah.
And so like, let them all blow each other up. Like
they're good talkers though.
They are talk no jutsu, baby.
Dude, it's crazy.
All right. Number 9. I'm shocked that this is number 9, but the Hideout Raid arc with My Hero Academia. I do think it's. I think it's
season 4.
That's when Bakugo gets kidnapped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a good arc.
Villain
yeah,
because season 3, I think.
Season 3, yeah. I think
the Villain Society, and they kidnapped him, and this is the one where they tossed Bakugo in the air or something, and he like grabbed on.
Caught him.
Yeah. The fight between All Might and All for One is the highest rated episode in My Hero's history, I think, to date.
Yeah. It's up there.
Which I still like the first All Might Nobu fight, man. I really do.
It was a really good fight.
In the dome?
Yeah.
That one was really good.
It was super intense because at that point, like, you didn't know what was happening.
Yeah. But you're right. The All Might and One for All, or All for One fight was like the way that finished, where he's like on the verge of half skinny, half like, and he just focuses it all into his just massive arm, dude.
It was, also, too, I like how they gave you like, so one thing about watching Naruto is you're seeing, honestly, maybe more than anything else, how much it influenced all of the shonen of today.
Yep.
Which is another reason why it should be in your top 20. But because everything that you like came from the show. But like you had Bakugo getting ready to go full Sasuke and like join the evil guys for power, and then at the like he's like he gets undone, like they let him off his chains, and he starts blowing people up again. They have to tackle him and put him back in the chains. And he's like, I want to win. I want to be like All Might. F you guys. And they're Shigaraki gets so freaking mad. It's great.
It's a good one. It really is.
Bakugo was strong and everything too, though. But I don't understand why they really wanted his power. Like
because they thought so when they watched and again noted historian of My Hero right here. When they watched him on the tournament. Throwing it back to Yu Hakusho, he was acting like a freaking nut, and
he was just wilding.
Yeah, and they started figuring out that Deku was the inheritor, and so as they're starting to figure that out, like who you take his best friend that's known him because they wanted to know more about Deku. And I think they asked him actually when they had him in the bar, that was the hideout, like. What's up? You're like the best friend or whatever, and he's like, "Screw you guys," which I thought was cool. Like it's such a good, it was a good way to because I was full send ready for him to become a villain, and I was like, "Oh, that's how we're gonna do this thing." There's gonna be a fight between like the best friends and they're like, "Nah, he's actually a good guy."
They had their fight moments though. I think
I think
his fight versus him in the street where
so good.
Deku was freaking dancing in the middle of that.
Bro, he hit full pirouette.
That was tough, man.
It was a good fight. It was a real good fight. Also, interesting that they keep the same animation for all their fights, but I hope that they can bring some of that good stuff back. All right, number 8. Real quick, as far as My Hero goes, that's a good arc. My personal favorite is the overall arc, though. I refuse to accept
that last scene or last sequence.
It's when
phenomenal.
You get Mirio Lemillion fighting overhaul with no quirk.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
that
going
was so
crazy too.
Yeah, just
So wild.
and then you have all this stuff happening. You get to see why Lemillion was supposed to be the inheritor of All for One or One for All, and then you get Deku busting through, and then him utilizing like the moment when he breaks out the kind of infinite 100% or whatever, and it doesn't hurt him because of Eri. You have Eri was a really sympathetic character. He's saving her. It kind of encapsulated what the show is supposed to be. And Overhaul.
He's a
Now
good villain though.
he was a good villain because in the same way that Kabuto is a good villain or
Yeah.
Data because you hate him, you
Yeah.
just don't like him.
Exactly.
But he wasn't really like
Ruthless,
His
like, yeah.
but his motivation was that I want to take care of the old man, like the guy that took him in to
Honestly,
bring.
it was still more. It was
It was
still more,
more
of a
than-
plot than Kabuto's.
Yeah.
I'm
No,
just
it
saying.
because he got brought in and take. But anyways, I like that arc more.
Makes sense.
Now I think the ending though. I mean, All for One, One for All. That's what the whole thing's about. So
Yep.
that was a good. But I just think the overall the weight behind Deku figuring out what it means to be a hero and like what you have to lay on the line to save somebody,
Yeah.
just to save one kid.
Oh yeah.
Like people are dying, getting quirks stolen, getting smoked just to save a kid, and it's not even the main big bad.
Yep.
Just shows how dangerous the world is. Number 8, courtesan of a nation, Gintama.
I'm not familiar.
I
with
am
Gintama.
actually not too familiar with.
All right, I'm going to read
Gintama.
about it because
Yeah,
there are
please do.
Gintama fans that watch, I'm sure, and they're going to be.
I will.
very
I will
upset.
get on that. I will get on that.
I
though.
do actually. This is one of the ones. This one and Berserk are two that I want to dig into.
Ooh, Berserk.
We should do a Berserk watch and come in here and just be sad.
Sounds good.
It's true.
All
Actually.
right, Gintama
not-
is
it's not
known
long.
for
It's
its
only
goofy
24
jokes, and silliness, but it also knows how to deliver gut punches to the heart. To reward him for his heroic deeds, Gentoki is invited to meet a legendary courtesan who turns out to be an old lady. That sucks. A disappointed Gen wonders why she's still working despite her age, and he finds out she is bound to a promise to wait for her lover. Curious, Gen and his friends try to find this mystery man. What they end up uncovering are heartbreak, political matters that reshape the show, and Gen's troubled past. In this arc, you see Gintama at its finest: humor, surprises, compelling plot, and waterworks-inducing development.
Is this a show with the guy with the white hair?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He
It's-
has like a pet or something that he rides or something.
It's Gintama, JD. I'm just kidding. I've never watched it. So
Yeah. They've made a live action movie of this.
he looks like Tokyo Ghoul though in this still.
Oh, that's not the still that I'm
Um,
familiar with. There's a.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. You're right. Yes, what the visual you have in your head is Gintama.
Interesting.
We need to watch that though.
That is-
We're
yeah.
letting our anime fan base down.
Well, yeah. So number 7,
It's like Hitman Reborn. I need to.
the Clanad After Story arc from Clanad After Story. I've never even heard of this in my entire
Dude,
life.
Clanad is good, man.
Have you seen it? Have you seen it?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, you haven't seen it?
If you think Clanad
it's-
was sad, then brace for more tears when you head to After Story. In it, Tomoya grapples with Nagisa's death to the point that he can't even look at their kid. Tomoya goes through an emotional journey of reconnecting with his estranged father as well as facing his sick young daughter. Through love, hope, and magic, he is given another chance and gets his family back, who he dearly loves with his whole heart. That sounds atrociously sad.
Trust me, it is pretty gut wrenching. It's
Yeah, I don't know about all that now.
It's good though.
All right, equally gut wrenching. Number 6, the Frieza saga. Not gut wrenching. Dragon Ball Z. That is. It is not. It is. I don't think the Frieza saga is anything the best of any arc ever, but you have the Super Saiyan and
It's the impact.
like I said about
It has moments.
No, I was gonna say it's like Naruto. Like everything about the Frieza saga is what everything that we watch now is.
Yeah.
Like power ups and the way they do the villains and
I think personal impact for the Frieza saga
It's a 20 out of 10.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
like
It's just there's nothing like it.
No.
Like experiencing that for the first time.
I want to do it again.
I
honestly.
wish
I think
I
it's
can
for
experience that.
nostalgia.
The
I mean,
closest
a lot of it's nostalgia.
I'm trying to think of what is there anything. I mean, the overhaul arc was a little similar because I had gotten super invested in the Deku, unlike most people, and I actually liked him. And so when he came to that wall and turned up, I was like, "Oh shoot!" And then I've said this before, but the fact that no one in the school remembers the fact that he went Super Saiyan is just a travesty. The next day, he's like, "You're an idiot," and he's like, "I went Super Saiyan." No one cares. I'm like, he's the strongest dude in the city, and nobody gives a crap.
Yeah.
But yeah, Frieza Saga, man, like, it's everything. You get multiple character deaths. You get secondary character love. You get
There's stakes. Like
there's full stakes. like you get Gohan development, you get Piccolo development, you get Krillin development, you get Nails who I love. The Nail versus Frieza fight, super underrated because his only goal is he knows he's gonna die. He's just trying to save time.
Yeah.
To get
Stall. You gotta stall, man.
And he's just laying it all out, and Frieza's and he's also doing a good job of baiting Frieza to keep fighting him and just getting his butt whooped.
One thing I will say about Dragon Ball, which I guess is gonna be a downside, but the deaths don't really hurt.
But so now they don't. But like in that moment, so here's the thing: when Krillin dies, he'd already been resurrected one time. When Vegeta dies, you just started to like Vegeta, and now you don't know what's going to happen. Piccolo was dying.
Yeah.
And then you're like, well, if Piccolo dies, there are no Dragon Balls on Earth at this point because he'd already absorbed Kami.
Piccolo had already died though because of the Saiyan saga.
Yeah, but he got
resurrected.
Right.
But if he dies, I think when I'm trying to remember, and I'm embarrassed that I can't figure this out. I think he had already fused with Kami.
He did, yes.
So he was like at this point like 7 Namekians, and so if he dies, like you're losing the Kami Dragon Balls because there was no Dende at this point.
Yeah.
So you don't know what's going to happen, which is why Goku trips the F out when Krillin gets killed.
You got to think about in the moment. Like, I mean, the Frieza saga is playing out, like, we don't know that there's going to be a Cell saga. We don't know any of this is going to happen.
Yeah.
So, like, at the moment, the stakes were real. The deaths
and
were real.
every Frieza transformation. So we talk about things that are drawn out, and the Frieza fight absolutely is drawn out. But when you were in 1997 or whatever watching it, it was not drawn out. Every moment, every punch, every transformation, you're like, holy crap, they can transform more than once? Like, more than 3 times? Oh, he's tiny. Like, it's just freaking over and over again. And also you get...
That first run, man, it was special.
And then
it was special.
And I don't know if this counts in the Frieza side. I think it does. But you get the Goku training. You get...
it counts.
You get the Goku getting to... I think he comes back from Snake Way, right?
Yeah.
You get Goku fighting the Ginyu Force.
That was actually really good.
Yes. And the only part that I didn't like was the Ginyu body switch thing, but even that was interesting and compelling in the moment. And him coming out and just taking Raccoon to the woodshed immediately. And then you get Berta and Jace who are like, he's so fast. What's going on? Like, it's
pretty good.
Jace, though, dude.
Berta, I can't do it. Like, and he just leaves.
Yeah.
Like, remember, Jace just left. Jace like, oh, you got Berta. I'm out, bro.
Yeah.
Dude.
Like, it was, you're like, Goku's that dude. And at the time, what we've seen of Goku at this point was like child exploits, him beating King Piccolo in the tournament and then dying to Raditz. And then did he doesn't die, so we don't get Snake Way because he doesn't die against Vegeta. He just gets hospitalized and is stuck. But you get the Vegeta fight where you're like, yeah, he's tough, but you have this dude who's like Vegeta's like boss's boss.
Correct.
And you're like, you're not expecting Goku to become an intergalactic traveler and whoop up on aliens. And so it's just like everything that you think.
Dragon Ball was so normal, and then
and then it became what it is now. And you also get like, and it's so hard to do this, but you get a guy who doesn't have any kind of weighty backstory, who's just so cold that he becomes a great villain. And the way the characters respond then are revolted by Frieza to the point where even Vegeta is now... Frieza is so evil that Vegeta is a good guy. Like, that's crazy. Like, you're like, I'm rooting for Vegeta at this point to figure this thing out. And then you get Vegeta starting to turn as he kind of like sees Gohan as another Saiyan and wants to help him out. I think he apologizes. He apologizes only 2 times in the entire thing, and both times they go on. I think that might be the first time. But then obviously you get the Super Saiyan transformation, which is when that happens.
Elite.
Oh God, you're not ready for it. Like, I remember being like,
what's going on right now?
And then also you get the greatest, where the anime creator, the manga creator, has to accept fan theories that the whole fight was 5 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it was like 70 episodes in like 5 minutes. Yep. Because they were moving so fast. And then that set also the stage for everything that we watch today. It's just, it's the greatest. I mean, it probably
the
should.
lightning, the
Yeah,
freaking-
the music, the background, like
The music was elite.
rumbling. Yeah,
The sky was elite. The green of the sky with all
him even letting Frieza live was just
crazy.
still
like-
humble.
and when he he's so strong that he just because since then even they haven't done this, but usually he gets an upgrade. Goku does, and he still gets slapped around a little bit and pulls it out. Like he upgraded and just started putting that boy in the torture rack, man.
Yeah,
He
losing
said,
legs,
Put that man in a
arms.
freaking
Yeah.
washing machine.
yeah, he said you're done. Like it's over, which is good. All right, fifth, near and dear.
That's
to,
not even top 5. That's crazy. But anyway.
Yeah, I think that's top 3 at least to me. Number 5, Marineford arc.
Oh, God.
All right, rescue mission for Ace, and it goes into some craziness.
Yeah, so I just finished that like a couple last week. I finished
Talk
that
about it.
Marineford last week, and gosh, man, okay, I'll start off with the downside. The one downside about Marineford is that the rest of the Straw Hats are not there, but Luffy, Jinbei, like them just working their way through Marineford, like is just absolutely sick, dude.
But do you not like how I feel like the Straw Hats not being there was good because the archipelago you had Kuma who just shot everybody
yeah.
off into different places, and then you got Luffy. He's kind of by himself now. He literally sees the poster about Ace getting captured, and he's like,
acts.
I need to
Yeah.
get out of prison and save him.
Yeah, and
Starts a whole revolt.
and the way he gets to Marineford, like with Boa Hancock, and I
Falling out of the sky.
yeah, falling out of the sky. Gosh, dude, it's incredible, man. I'm trying to think here. You get a lot of the admirals, like you get to see them in action, which is I want to see more of that actually, like from where I'm at currently.
I think the biggest thing in that arc though was like Luffy running up and him screaming and using Kakura's haki and not even realizing it.
Yeah.
Everybody on the battlefield like stops
Yeah.
and they turn towards him, like all the strong ones that don't get affected by it just turn towards him like
Was it Garp that pointed out that it was the Conqueror's Haki, or was it
can't-
Sengoku?
I
Was
can't
it?
remember, but I don't maybe it was a Kainu. I don't remember who it was, but I just remember everybody stopping and turning towards him like that.
Yeah.
And Whitebeard was like that brat. He was like that brat.
I forget
can
the
use
dude's
that.
name who has the shades, his fights with light. What's his name?
Kizaru.
Kizaru. He's like, oh, what's this guy doing?
Yeah.
Like,
He's
I
a-
didn't think he was that strong.
I like his character
yeah.
too. But that was one of the most impactful deaths though. You know, we get the meme too still about
Oh,
the
yeah.
donut, but it's fine.
Oh,
It's
gosh.
fine.
Poor Ace. It is a really strong arc. So far, it's been my favorite.
Is it okay? So is it your favorite?
Well, my favorite One Piece arc. so
Okay,
far.
because number 4 is the Wano arc, also One
Oh
Piece.
man,
And that's where
Dude.
you're at now. I'm not there yet.
Yo, without saying much, Wano is where they really brought the animations together, man. Like the recent fight that they have that Sanji and Zoro are kind of into at this moment. Dude, even Law and Kid, dude, they like level up. I think this arc is not my favorite only because I like Whole Cake because of Sanji and what it showed us, but this one is good for like fights and going back into like how they actually are. Luffy's being Luffy. He's just reckless as ever. And then, like I said, they're showcasing. This is where they actually showcase Zoro and Sanji's like true abilities. Like they've peaked.
I can't wait, man. I can't wait. I'm excited to get there.
Yes, I'll know one day when I'm old.
Maybe.
When I retire.
Dang.
So number 3, I disagree with this strongly, not because it's not a good arc.
Is it number 3? Okay.
Yeah, not because it's not a good arc, but it doesn't. I don't really consider this an arc. Well, what they're terming it, anyways. Future Trunks Saga.
That doesn't count.
I don't think that.
That I
considers-
disagree
Would that be
because-
Android Saga? Is that what
Because
they're talking about?
they said this leads into other great arcs like the Android Saga. And
Okay,
the Cell
so is
Saga.
this just the in between after
Yeah.
everything happened and he like cuts
I
up
mean,
Frieza?
I will say from an intrigue standpoint, it probably is the highest intrigue of Dragon Ball's history.
Oh
because
yeah, for
of-
sure. Because
because
Trunks comes and gives the medicine to Goku.
Well,
and, like,
well, not just that, but he shows up Frieza shows up. He shows up. He wrecks them.
Yes.
He can turn Super Saiyan. Goku shows
and
up.
Vegeta's like, what?
Yeah.
Another
like,
one?
And you don't know who he
Yeah.
is.
Because
You get
Vegeta couldn't turn at that point, right?
No, he
No,
could
not
not.
yet.
And you get Bulma flirting with her son.
Yeah, it was
Tough
cringe.
L for Bulma. Oh, by the way, speaking of this, I forgot to mention this, the Frieza saga, or the Namek saga as it's better known. You also get Capsule Uniform Bulma, which is my favorite version. The yellow black,
yeah.
yellow black
I
suit
do-
was.
I do like
she
that.
Was super pretty.
Much
in that
better
one.
than her whatever hair she has in Future Trunks.
the fro.
saga.
I'm looking at it right now.
The
It's
fro.
the fro.
Oh gosh, what?
Because
the
it was right in the '90s when everybody had that.
Jeez,
It's
that
tough.
was rough, man.
So yeah, they did our girl dirty. But yeah, I mean, like I would say, here's a real quick, since I don't want to talk about this. Let's say you would put the Frieza saga here. Would you go Frieza saga or Cell saga? Which one's better? Which one's better? Better.
Cell Saga.
You think Cell saga is
Yeah,
better?
because this brought me into the point where Goku really ain't shit, bro. Like you toss the enemy a whole sensu beam to prove a point,
Man,
Like, yo,
I don't know how I feel about
and
that.
then Vegeta letting him freaking it was so
Absorb,
many
yeah.
moments that you're just like, what the hell, bro?
Yeah,
But
they went off the rails. Every character goes. Every time you think
Stupid.
a character's on the rails, the only guy that has any sense
Trunks,
is
honestly.
Trunks, Piccolo. No, because he goes
Not even
when he goes
Gohan.
Super Saiyan 2, he lets Cell live to blow the world up. Everybody loses their minds except for Trunks, Piccolo, Yamcha. Those are the only three dudes in the whole saga that had sense. Yamcha, because he said, "I'm out. I saw what he can do.
And
I'm
I'm
gonna go
not
back.
staying."
I'm leaving." Because Tien, idiot, he goes and fights Cell by himself and almost kills himself doing the Kiko Han or whatever, the Kikyo Ho, and then you get you get the Gohan snapping. Yeah, just it's not great. Also,
yeah, I think you're right. You talked me into it. I think Cell is better.
also you get, I will say, Trunks. Did not get this when I was younger, but you get the Trunks like, and even in Super, like he carries with him, like he has known defeat and suffering like nobody else, which
Coming from
makes
the
him which makes him a way more unique fighter than the rest of these guys who have only known victory. Really,
Right.
no matter how bad it gets, either
they end up up
Gohan freaks out and wins, or Vegeta and Goku fuse or whatever, and Trunks is like, nah, dog, like I've seen everything
How
be
do you
extinguished.
sit back and let him absorb the last android?
Trunks is
Because
trying not to.
Yeah.
Because you want to let him get stronger, and then you fight your son when he tries to stop you. That's crazy, bro. Vegeta
Also-
was a-
Well, then you get the Vegeta and Trunks training in the.
By the way, you
Hyperbolic
get the
time
coldest statement in Dragon Ball history when Goku comes out and Vegeta's like, "Do you mean you're that much stronger than me?" And Goku's like, "Yeah, no, I am. You could probably stand the train some more though," and just like walks off. And that's like the coldest moment in
Yeah.
their whole rivalry to me. Like,
Yeah.
you also get
insignificant.
Yeah, just he's like, "Nah, you're fine," which is cold. So yeah, I don't know. That one's not great. Number 2, Soul Society, the sneak entry
okay.
arc,
Man,
Bleach.
I love Bleach.
Yeah, I think this actually is probably I think Bleach's best arc. To be honest with you.
Honestly, you get some good fights. Him versus Kenpachi.
You get the whole Soul Reapers.
You got them,
Yes.
them going to
Ooh.
rescue Rukia
Mm-hmm.
because she's basically did something that she wasn't supposed to by giving Ichigo her Shinigami powers. Crazy, man.
You get
Yes.
Aizen gets strung up.
Oh man,
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
is where they introduced the Gotei 13, so you start to get an idea of how like
Mm-hmm.
everything works in that universe. It was really good though.
All right, number 1, which I don't have. I mean, I could nitpick this, but I don't really. I wouldn't. I'm like, okay, cool. Return to Shinganshina,
What is this?
the Attack on Titan.
Oh.
When
oh,
they go
yeah.
back for the basement.
Okay,
And you get in my opinion the best when Armin gets, he's like, I'm going to do it, and he takes the Colossal Titan on to get him to thin out by using all of his heat
Yeah.
and burning his muscle fibers, and he just gets murdered.
Honestly, this is a good arc. Would I say it should be number 1? I definitely think it's top 5. 100.
It's
Yeah,
top,
but
it's top 5.
You can't
for
like
sure.
if it, you can't like you could say like I could put, I mean, because I would feel good about the
all
Cell.
biases
I could
at that point,
Cell
yeah.
or Frieza would be up there for me.
Yeah.
Like it's Chimera Ant would be fine. But yeah, like you can't really argue with it. You get Armin, which was probably the most noble death in the whole series.
Yeah.
He got resurrected because of the Titan juice, but like you get that, you get the Beast Titan versus Levi.
Oh,
That was one of
don't
the
even
best
get
fights.
started on that.
You get the
How
Irwin.
many times we talk about this on the podcast?
Yeah,
We talk about it,
exactly.
like
It's-
every second we get.
I don't care. It's always it's elite. Like shout out Matthew Mercer again from our last
which
episode.
I do think that the Levi Zeke fight that's going to come up in this final part is going to be epic.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Uh-huh.
And you get Irwin's speech,
Yeah.
which my soldiers rage.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah, commit your hearts, man. Yeah, it's you also get the birth of Flock as a weird villain. I'm trying to think of, you get also the answers in the basement,
Yep.
which so I went into this watching all of this. A friend of mine, I wasn't a huge Attack on Titan fan, and now I am. But a friend of mine made me a deal, and I had to watch it. And I was not prepared for the basement. When they come out and they're like, oh no, this is, once the truth started getting spooled out from that moment, I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
No.
This is really when it starts to get into your, like, the mind game starts to go,
Mhm.
and it turns into like
Make you think more, yeah.
Well, then like there's photos.
Yes.
And,
Oh yeah.
And there's pictures, and it's like, oh no, we got all kinds of technology, dog. There's like the United States of America
And they
is
didn't
like
even know.
across the ocean.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
And you're like, well, why don't they?
The
Then
world that they live in is not really the full world.
and then
like
the close of the arc. So we talked in our group chat. We talked about at some point we talked about the best ending of arcs.
Mm-hmm.
You get Historia,
Yeah.
and then you get when Aaron like touches her, and all of a sudden
it opens up.
yeah, and then you basically get like the first hint that actually Aaron's much more than even what he is as the MC.
What is led on to believe.
Yeah, now we're in this treadmill of time that Aaron is controlling all of.
It's so much going on.
So I mean, it really is it's a strong. I mean, you can't argue the rest of the list. I feel like that though is pretty inarguable. That as far as you can debate it, but you can't say it's wrong.
Right.
That's true.
Like
That's true. I mean, I think it's only fitting that an Attack on Titan arc is number one, because they have multiple. Like, it's not just that arc. Like, they have very, very solid arcs.
They're a lot
Attack on
more
Titan.
structured than most animes when it comes to.
And I really think they take storytelling to like another level too.
they do. It's probably
Multiple layers.
It's probably it doesn't have to. It doesn't have to be your favorite when I say what I'm about to say, but it's probably the best. It might be the best anime narrative story, period, of all of them.
I think they just have a good mix between action and like what they want to do plot wise.
Well, so everything in the plot is completely like strung together. It's like a freaking Christopher Nolan movie, like Memento or something. Like it's forwards, backwards, left, right, up, down. Like it's 360 degrees of like fully realized plot. Whereas most of these things are hero's journey. There is no hero's journey here.
No.
You think it's a hero's journey when you first start watching it.
Until you get there.
It is not a hero's
oh.
journey. This is no Luke Skywalker situation. This is a geopolitical thriller, honestly.
And it's crazy like how they went from like when they were doing like season 2 to season 3, they were giving like some backstory the first couple of episodes, and then it started to make sense going forward. So
and you go from being like, oh, so why? I guess we're just on an island with Titan monsters. Like that's weird. And then all of a sudden it's like you get because before Shinganshina is when Ymir shows up, and it starts to be like, you're like, hold up, where's this other person who can shift? And we got these guys who can shift, and then what's happening? Why are these folks being able to shift? And now there's like a tree 3,000 years ago, and what's happening? And then Shiganshina says, shoo, it's a much deeper. I was still thinking it was going to be like a medieval fantasy type thing, and we got like boats and machine guns and I'm trying to think like, I mean, yeah, it's just like the whole thing when they start heading there, you're like, we're getting answers, and then you get way more than you bargained for.
Yeah.
Important question: you post fight. Are you gonna give the Titan syrup to? And I said syrup on purpose, not serum. Are you giving the Titan syrup to Aaron or Armin or Irwin?
Armin.
Really?
No, I'm giving it to Irwin.
Really?
I'm going Irwin. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Aaron. Take your butt on somewhere.
To be honest with you, like Armin, since then, he's had some cool moments, but like I feel like he's only complained and like gotten away since then.
He also, he had for me, it actually hurt worse than the Mikasa. When he looks at Mikasa and says, I hate you, him punching Armin in the face actually hurt me worse. than him, because I was like, that's your boy.
Yeah, that's true.
Like Mikas
That's
was always
true.
saying, but we know she's nuts. Like we've already established she's crazy and zero like single track. But Armin's an actual functioning dude who's got normal thoughts and is still for you.
I hate you.
Yeah, like that just God. He, yeah. I mean, if Erwin had the Colossal Titan, I think the show ends there. Like,
Show's over pretty quick after that.
yeah, because he's. I mean, also too, you get the Titans in the walls in that
Yeah.
arc. You also get the scene where Reiner shifts into the armored Titan next to Erwin, and Erwin's just looking at him,
Oh, and
which is like a very cold
the Armor
moment.
Titan head turn. The
Yeah.
Reinert's. Oh
and,
my god.
and he's like he's scared of Erwin, who's just standing there.
Yeah.
With one arm, by the way.
Yeah.
One arm dude, and he's like, I better not mess with this guy. So yeah, I mean that's an elite arc. I love that. I mean that one arm March Madness bracket, the Attack on Titan did. So
That's true. You're right.
So it's only fitting that it would be the top arc.
Wow.
I'm looking forward to the part 3, 4, whatever the heck
part
we're
17.
on. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that.
I'm so glad I read the whole manga. I ain't gotta worry about all this foolery.
The never-ending story.
Yeah.
So good. That was number 1. Okay, cool. All right. Well, any other thoughts on that list?
You got an arc you'd put above it? Preference?
Arc you put above it. You know what? I'd have to put some more thought into that one.
So what's your number one?
My number one? I
Yeah.
mean, in my mind, it's like Dark Tournament, but from Yu Yu Hakusho. But I think the first Death Note, first half of Death Note is pretty good.
Well, and
pretty
then
fun.
and on another list we saw the last name arc
Yeah.
when he's trying to
Oh,
figure
yeah.
out that was intense.
Yeah.
That was very intense.
I enjoy it. Yeah. I think Death Note's storytelling is really good. I will say the entirety of Moriarty is phenomenal.
Holy crap, that's a great show. That's one that I'd love to finish if I had time.
Yeah.
I'm on episode 3. I've managed to managed to like
It's
carve out
yeah.
like brief respites.
Also, Hell's Paradise.
Yes.
Dude,
Yes.
it's crazy.
Yes.
Oh,
The whole like transforming or like morphing or whatever is
Yeah.
going on. Like it is just insane right now.
I think Reincarnated in the Slime, the Demon King arc, the
Oh,
last arc of
yeah.
that probably not maybe when from the moment I don't know what arc that's called, but when the village is attacked and he goes to where he becomes a demon lord
yeah.
is a really strong arc.
I agree.
I mean, when he wipes out the
Megiddo,
entire
when he goes Megiddo on those
oh
boys.
my gosh, dude!
One of
it was
the
good too.
it was one of the hardest moments I've seen, just from an MC flexing their power and just saying like, because I kept waiting in typical anime fashion for something to go wrong, and he
Yeah.
was like, no,
He just came out. I'm him.
Yep.
yeah, he
Got
just
it.
said no. He just
No
walks up
big-
like,
no big deal.
he's like, don't worry guys, I got it. I'm like, oh, okay.
That's it. And then
Yeah.
we were all gone.
Honestly, if crazy enough, I think the first arc in Shield Hero would be pretty up there for me. Only because that was one of those animes where like the main character literally started with an L. Like he
Oh yeah.
he didn't get a chance.
What's your favorite Magi arc?
Magi. Oh, there are
Because our favorite
honest-
animes made the list, but your Magi didn't. So like, what's your favorite Magi arc?
honestly probably That's a good question. Probably where Alibaba went back to his hometown and him and Kisam were having like their disagreement, and that's one thing about Magi is they show like a lot of like the racial things that happen in the Middle East and like all of like
I was there, I know.
the slave trades and everything. So it gets pretty deep, but I would say that one's probably the best one.
What made it so good to you?
There are a lot of touching moments. So
Yeah.
even with, like I say, even past everything, like Alibaba went with Kasim because they're both from the same slum areas, and they're basically just going around killing folk as the troop. They're just going around and killing people with their freaking with their weapons.
They're
and-
murder hobos.
yeah, pretty much.
Yep.
And then finally Alibaba sees that Kisam is not really doing the right thing, and he turns on him. Now they have like this dynamic where they're clashing, and it's again two best friends from the same area just going at it. So
No good vibes.
It's pretty crazy.
I will tell you guys also one day we'll redo this, and the Pokemon World's Masters tournament will be on there because that was a real good arc
Especially
for
the
Pokemon.
last
That's what I'm talking about. Like
fight.
the Masters tournament was just like where they started putting it together, and there was no more letdowns. So good. No more letdowns.
Yeah.
Culminating in, quite frankly, you've always all seen the championship fight, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
You've
Oh,
seen
yes,
it?
yes.
That there's nothing you can say is more attractive to watch than that fight. You can say there's peers, but that was freaking gorgeous animation.
Even down to like
They went all out with
Yeah.
that fight.
Pikachu almost passing out in all of Ash's
Mhm.
The
previous
comebacks.
teams.
Bro, just
coming
pulling
back.
them, like, and it's beautiful to watch. Like they put out all the stops, Leon and Ash. They darkened the lines. Like you could just tell they said, all right, this is it. We're putting every dollar into
Down
it.
to that last headbutt.
Man, yeah, so good and unbelievable. Like, cause you're it's just it's
It was
good.
also the culmination of like
30 years of
I would say our entire lives.
Yeah.
So
It was special, man. Like
Side
that.
note, question for you guys: have you guys watched any of the newer one?
I've seen clips. I'm waiting. I needed to get. I'm
no.
as well documented pre-podcast. My time to chase pirated anime is limited, so I can't even watch the
I need it
licensed
to be
stuff.
more accessible. Is what I need it to be. Like I don't want. I like.
Man.
There's no subs at this point that I can find without like that are. I'm big like if I'm going to see something translated. That's why I like the dub so much. I gotta
be
know
legit.
it was a legit translator because they'll be translating some foolery, man. If you find something that's like not legit, they'll be saying some stuff, and then you like get the manga, and you're like,
Side
Wait,
note,
what?
I mean, the only thing I'll say about it, Captain Pikachu is pretty tough.
he is tough.
it's
Like
cool, bro.
there are people. The people are the streets are saying he could take like regular Pikachu.
Oh, you know what's crazy? That debate is not even a debate. I've seen some of the comments, and everybody's like, "Y'all are crazy. He's beating legendaries." Like Ash's Pikachu was fighting every legendary.
No,
in
no.
the book.
There's a lot like people have said that Ash's Pikachu is its own legendary. Like it's not.
Probably.
Yeah. It's a he's tough, man. I mean, who is he? He's fought like everybody.
Yeah.
Oh,
Pikachu
hey,
is
everybody. Yeah.
literally gone at every legendary.
It's
It's ridiculous.
ridiculous. This is a first stage evolution. Well, back in the day, he was like, dude is like just getting like. I think his if you look at him like his actual stats, it's like 400 or something.
Which is crazy though, because Ash Factory resets him after every
He does factory
everything.
I think they just have a conversation,
Factory
and Ash is like, "Hey, we're here. I need you to take it.
just
Like, bring
calm-
it down.
calm
We're fighting
down,
like a
son.
level 5 Snivy. Like, I need you to
Actually,
relax."
he might. Now that you're saying that
Like,
might be the case.
We gotta maybe he tells Pikachu like, "You're good. I'm not good enough. So like, just go in here at 10% and let me try to like."
Because towards the
navigate
middle
this.
of whatever like season,
He just goes
on,
whop. He just turns
just-
up.
He's amazing again.
Yeah,
like,
he's back. Like he's
crazy.
he's wild. But that arc would be on there. I want to pull like in my brain. I want to pull a Digimon arc into it from like the original Digimon.
Oh, Tamers is literally no, not Tamers. Excuse me, Frontier. One of the best Digimon series.
What about Yu-Gi-Oh too?
I was thinking about
Battle City.
Yeah, Battle
I would
City.
say the dang first arc. Like, just out of the gate, they
are you
hit it
talking about
hard.
Pegasus's
Yeah.
arc.
They hit it hard, dude.
Mm,
Like they come out real hot. Rest in peace, author of Yu-Gi-Oh. We
yeah.
we love you. He died last year. But yeah, I'm trying to think of anything else, any other like non-mentioned, but
Fire Force.
there's not a bad. That's might be the most underrated anime to me. No one really ever talks about it, but I don't know that I saw a bad episode or moment in that whole show. Like nothing ever didn't make sense.
Shinra's actually a pretty good MC.
Yeah, he really is. Like
He's a great MC, but he has a terrible dub voice.
really, you don't like the dub voice?
No.
Nah, it's
I thought it was.
not.
I was fine with it.
Oof.
I was fine with it.
No.
It's the same as-
compared to his
It's the same as Natsu. He's got the
his original like the
sub?
Japanese
Yeah.
voice is so good.
Yeah, but yeah, I have no complaints to the show. The artwork's gorgeous. Like it's. Now I'm curious if they ever make the final episodes, what the reception will be, because as I told you guys like 8 podcasts ago, I finished the manga and that junk goes off the freaking rails.
Yeah.
Reality changes, and I'm just like, what? I'm curious what the reception will be.
Yeah.
Black Clover had some good arcs too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for real.
Um,
The Spade Kingdom.
Mhm.
That was good.
When Asta first goes like devil or whatever.
Demon, yeah.
Yeah, which is great.
What about
I mean,
Yuji's anime?
Who?
Yuji.
Jujutsu Kaisen?
Mhm.
I haven't. Are they in season 2 now? It comes out soon, right?
July
Yeah,
July
July.
2nd.
Yeah.
Yeah, July 2nd.
So what was it? So I guess there's 2 arcs in the first season, right?
Yeah, there's
So
the-
which one's your
the-
favorite?
The last half is the tournament arc, but then the first one is.
We need to put a sign at the end of the podcast that says "Going into the BS mode," but because none of this matters. But none of this is canon to the podcast. But yeah, like, which is your favorite Jujutsu Kaisen arc?
I think the first half because it was
I would agree.
because there was a lot more mystery to it. Like you got a little bit
How
of
does
the
the
supernatural
first-
elements.
What's the first arc?
The
It's
first
just-
arc with him swallowing the finger. And
Yeah, like how's it culminate? What's the end of the first arc?
Him attending the school, like going to the school.
That's
Yeah,
the end of
nah.
the first arc?
Yeah,
Is that- nah,
and then it
nah.
starts the tournament after that.
Don't they? Nah.
I thought something else happened after that.
No, I'm second.
There's the in between where
They go to the prison.
He's training, like Yuji's
Yeah,
training
he's
with.
he's stuck inside
Yeah,
of
is
the
the-
house,
the-
and
Yeah.
Gojo is like
Yes.
out there.
Nah.
Because that's where we get the fight with him versus the
Volcano dude.
the magma dude.
Yes.
The first arc. The
No, bro.
first
Second arc for me all day long.
Really?
Yeah, Tojo, the burly dude, the fight
Oh,
against
that
the Rose
collapse?
guy. Yeah, and then you also get like you have
They got some good side characters.
the fighting in that second arc is so freaking clean, man.
Even
You get Maki versus her sister. You get the old man with the guitar and the dude with the hand swords. You get
the guy that can speak and
You get to see he's probably. I hope they do some deeper dives on him soon because I like him a lot. But you get to see him flex against the Rose dude, the guy with the bow and arrows. You
even
get,
the one that can summon like the shadow dogs.
yeah, Mega
he's
Man.
really
Yeah,
tough.
and then you get but then you get, like I said, him and Yuji fighting, and one of my favorite powers in any anime just because it's so
Unique.
and varied. Like
Yeah.
it just don't know what to expect. Like he's trading places with rocks. He's switching crap. Like
He's law at this point. He's law.
yeah, and then you get the Gojo flex. There's an he's such a dude that there's an anti Gojo barrier. I can go in and out, but Gojo can't. Like the whole thing exists for that only that purpose.
They
And-
had to come up with a whole contingency
Yeah,
just for Gojo.
and then he gets in, and the first thing he does is immediately nukes the one dude. Immediately, like not even,
Facts, yeah.
and then he goes and drops the purple sphere that just takes out the entire
Yep.
arena, and the Rose dude's like, "Oh, I gotta go!" Like,
and
and
he gets out. Yeah.
and then Toad, whatever his name is like, "Yuji, get out of the way now! You're gonna die." Like that, I love that. That the fighting was just so pretty in that
you
one.
might have changed my mind.
And then if you
I
want
still
to,
like the first one.
if you want to, I don't know if you tack it on. You might tack it on because it's so short. But then the ending arc when they fight the dude with the face on his back, I think.
Oh, that's not the one with the long gray hair.
No, he's handsome, but he has an ugly
Oh,
face
Yeah,
or whatever.
Yeah.
And you get Megami losing his mind in that cave.
Yeah.
So if you want to tack that on,
Ooh, yeah, the cave. That was a good scene. That was a great scene.
where he just goes nuts. He's like, I don't care anymore. Like, just starts showing why you start to see why Sukuna is interested in him and didn't kill him when he had the chance. So to me, you get more intrigue in that second part because you start to see there's corruption going on. And then you also, is the second arc, are we counting when Nanami and Yuji put Mahito in the torture rack in the yard?
Yeah.
Is that second arc? I think it is. It's at the
It is.
start.
It's the beginning of the second one.
Okay, yeah, that's beginning.
Because they put that boy in. There's a very, very funny overdub of that where they're punching him, and it's using words that as a white dude I can't say, but he's like, "Come on, fight back, fight back,
Yeah, oh, yeah.
fight back, get up, fight back," and he's just going, oh, like it's is, come on, man, fight back. That's very funny. But yeah, that's great. I have not seen the movie yet. I need to watch it to get ready for the new season.
It's a prequel,
But yeah, like,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a prequel.
and I've seen like screen grabs from the manga, but it looks like a lot happens. A whole lot.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking
Yeah,
forward to
it's
it.
What about
fun.
Demon Slayer so far?
What's
your favorite arc?
Oh, they got some good arcs, man.
They really do.
I'm trying to think.
I'm going to go through season. So season 1, let's just go through who the boss is. So season 1, he fights.
The spider, was it Ray?
That's probably the best one.
Ray,
That's
Rai,
not.
whatever his
That's
name
not
is.
first though.
That's not.
No, that's not
No,
first
the
one.
very first fight was the
The-
first arc
the
was the one
house.
with the brother and sister.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
in
yeah.
The
house,
one with
in
the
house,
arrow and
yeah.
the boys.
Oh, that was a good fight.
Yeah,
That was
really
that was
good.
a like animated fight. However, against was it Ray? I think it's Ray, like Ray
Ryu or something,
Ryu,
yeah.
that fight was even better than that one.
Yeah, because you finally get to see Nezuko's blood
Art. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, when her blood starts dripping down from the
Yeah.
spider
And like
webs.
explodes in the
so
red
good.
flames. It's
Yep.
crazy.
The first arc with the brother and sister is when you get the first meme of Tanjiro being like, my ribs and legs and back and spine are broke. I gotta get up, body. I can do this, which is very comical.
He's still doing it to this day.
He
Yeah,
won't
Like,
stop.
Very
Yeah.
true.
There's if you gave Tanjiro Goku's power, he same character.
But you got to remember though, Tanjiro was kind of fighting both of them by himself. Like
He's scrapping, dude.
the other dude was basically trying to protect the girl, and Nezuko was kind of incapacitated for a little bit before
he
she
was getting
came,
clapped. He
before
was
she
keeping
came
it
out
together.
and kicked her.
Yeah.
Kicked her straight out.
And I think he started using his nose to smell where the ball was going or whatever, which was cool.
I like the part where she throws the ball and like
Nezuko-
takes off like half of the dude's face.
Yeah.
Oh man.
The bicycle kick that Nezuko had, and that was good. So we have that. Then we have the spider arc,
Yeah.
which
Yes.
that's up there.
I think Zenitsu really brought that one home.
Yeah, he did when
That
when he was dying and goes like up into the sky to kill him or whatever.
God.
So good. Then,
But I will say, Entertainment District is really good.
Entertainment
man.
District is
Like,
tough.
so
the whole unison at the end where they have to
kill both.
at the same time. You get a Zenitsu that is like next level, like
Awake. He's actually awake too.
God tier level. Like
Yeah.
I don't know what happened there.
I mean, Slick. If this show had, I mean, it's kind of spoiler, but if it ever time skipped to like them as adults and they continue being Demon Slayer, that's the baddest dude in the whole show. He don't act like it, but he is. Like, ain't nobody doing what he does. He's one shotting tough dudes.
And he only knows one breathing technique.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
and that's how bad that,
And he
that
just
technique is.
he just honed it because he couldn't
Mhm.
use any of the other breathing techniques.
When he meets his rival later, it's so good.
Yeah.
But like, Demon Slayer suffers from what I would say is Michael Jordan syndrome. So back in the '90s, there was a this is real. There was a time where Michael Jordan had won like so many MVPs that they started giving them to other people. They did to LeBron James too. They started giving it to other guys just because they were tired. They're just tired of it. Like, remember when and who was it? I think Steve Nash won too on, I want to say it was Shaq or somebody who should have won it because they were just tired of it. They're like, this guy's doing good, give it to him. Just happened with Joel Embiid and Nikola Jokic this year. Demon Slayer has not dipped at all.
Yeah.
Yet you do not hear about it on this podcast or anywhere else.
you're right.
The same quality, the story's still the same
We
greatness.
know it's good. We know it's good.
That's it.
fine.
It's just
Yeah.
it's not. You really can't hate on
It
it.
did make it to the final four in our bracket though.
It did,
I
yeah.
believe.
But like we didn't talk about it. Like it was like, oh, Demon Slayer's here, cool.
Yeah.
Of course. Like it just people aren't.
They
and
don't
it's-
give it enough credit.
Yeah, I mean, and it's still just. I mean, I haven't. My kids are watching the newer episodes, and I've already read it, so it's not really a priority of mine. And so I took a second and watched, and it was when the most recent episode when the dudes first show up and the Mist Hashira starts wilding out,
Yeah.
Yep.
and I was like, it's still peak.
It's good stuff. Yeah. Gosh,
So-
so good.
I'm curious to see how that one's received too as it gets towards the end.
Honestly, I think the issue was though, and this is the last thing I'll say. I think the issue was the manga finished way earlier than a lot of people anticipated. Like, it might have been like 2 or 3 years ago.
It's maybe longer than that.
And I remember because I was keeping up with the manga every day, and when it finished, I was like, "Oh, that's cool." And then I have to wait
Yeah. Where's the anime?
years
Like,
for the
what's going on?
anime to animate what I just saw. So the manga's not even that long for this one.
Speaking of that, so I haven't been able to watch as much, but I have been what I would call Trevor's toilet time, where I crank out a chapter of a manga every time I use the restroom, which is more than you'd think because I have tummy issues. And so, Go Loser Rangers. I'm like on chapter 30. It's
it's
now I
good.
will say, and I'm not. This is not the time for it, but the Kodansha K manga app is the worst thing ever made. And if you guys please give them bad ratings and make them change their profit model. It's ridiculous, but really good.
It's good to see the other end, like the putty actually
Yeah,
seeing the hero not actually being the hero.
Yeah, it's good.
Crazy.
it's good. There's also another one called Gahuhika, I think. That's
Oh, yeah, you
super.
were talking about this.
Yeah, super interesting. But yeah, Go Loser Ranger just coming.
Oh, for sure. That's
coming.
gonna be a good.
It'll be
anime.
here in winter, right? Yeah, winter.
so winter
I'm
anime.
wondering how much, because like I'm in like chapter 30 or so. I'm curious how much they're gonna put in that first season, because if it's just the first like where I'm at,
It's
it's
still
not. It's not enough.
It's not, but
Because it's not really. It just started to get a little interesting, but it hadn't got fully interesting. Because the fighter is just like he just found the other fighter where I'm at,
okay, yeah.
and after he took over Buddy's body or whatever, which it's the whole thing is crazy. It's like,
Well, go watch it. Go read it.
Go read it, and then enjoy it when it comes out.
Yeah.
It's so good.
that's your show. That's when that comes out. Will you like it more than Magi if it's good?
Probably not.
Okay. Okay. I'm just wondering.
Can't
I'm just
do it.
wondering what's going to dethrone.
Can't do it.
What's going to dethrone?
It's
All
gonna
right.
take a lot. All right, so I think we went on long enough.
Mega BS podcast.
Yes, mega. Well, we really appreciate you for listening, tuning in. Please subscribe to the podcast on YouTube and also like it on social medias at Royal Geek Pod. I really appreciate that.
If you like long form storytelling.
Yes, exactly. The anime pods are usually longer, man, because we only do it like twice a month. So buckle up, man. Buckle up. We'll come at you with some more great anime content later in a couple weeks. So please be ready for that. So anyway, for Trevor, JD, and myself, we will see you next time. Sayonara, senpais.